Happy Sunday.
Happy
Happy
Sunday.
third
Hey,
or day of spring or however many days it's been. It hasn't been um, that many, but I hope both of you are doing well.
you're doing good.
Awesome.
Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well. So I thought for me, it would be a good time for us to talk about what's been happening with Asian Americans. And I'd also like to talk about two different things. Have a discussion about whether the help of white people is necessary for legitimate change to take place with the racial inequality, the racial hate. Um, so I guess we'll start with the Asian Americans. I'm going to start off by saying I saw a, a few comments that I didn't like. There are some people that are upset that the flags were lowered. And of course, I mean, I'm the only Black one on this podcast, but they said the flags weren't, lowered for Black people. It's come on, we stop. Hate is hate. Wrong is wrong. Killing is wrong. It's stop. I feel like there are a lot of chaos agents. There are a lot of people that have the desire to do good, to genuinely help people, but there are a lot of people that spend just as much time focusing on being bad and planting seeds. Stop. Change has got to start somewhere. Because somebody hates somebody that's Asian doesn't mean because I'm Black, I'm down here. It is wrong. No, I mean, no matter what, discrimination is discrimination. I don't care what it is. People need to understand that everybody has boundaries. And on a side note, um, there were on Facebook, people were complaining about the stimulus payment, had to find something wrong with it. And so I just commented and I said, then I see all of these hateful comments about people that received the stimulus checks. You received some, they received a stimulus check. Why don't you give it back? Why don't you just tell the IRS to keep it? Or if not, shut the fuck up. That's it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. My opinion, what happened to all of those 8 individuals that lost their lives, it was wrong. Asian Americans this didn't just start.
Right.
This did not just start. The few Asian Americans I have the pleasure of knowing, you know what? They try to move on. Hopefully it's going to get better. Let's not make this bigger than what it is. Let it go. Asian Americans that get beat up. No, let it go. I don't want to do anything. Let's try. This didn't just start. So give them a break. And I don't want to hear it. Don't come at me with that. By now, enough people have watched to know that I'm outspoken. This is how I am. Lydia knows this is how I am. And not just because we're doing this and it's being recorded. This is who I am. So if you come at me and you give me ignorance, you're going to get it back.
Right.
So I'm tossing it to you guys.
All right,
You wanna
Sean.
say- All right, me. Okay. So it's a couple things that I'd like to point out. I agree with you.
100%.
You're not the focus of what the current issue is. That doesn't mean
Thank you.
that you can't support the people that are going through the current issue.
Exactly.
You don't have to. Yes. Okay. Yes. I wish that the things that happen to Black Americans, I wish they lowered the flags and things like
And
that.
indigenous.
and indigenous and things like that. But that does
And
not mean that
Mexicans.
and Mexicans. But that does not mean that I feel like it's an improper thing to do for Asian Americans just because they didn't do it for other Americans. That's not. I think that we should be doing things the right way, starting at some point and then continuing it, not just saying, "Oh, well, we didn't do it for these people, so we can't do it for the."
Right.
No,
Exactly.
Good
we
point.
got to get over this me versus me, this me versus my neighbor, and start focusing on why we are being split apart as constituencies and as people, because I don't have my foil hat on or anything like that, but there are times when I feel like that it's the intent to divide and conquer, to make
It
us
is.
hate
It
each
is.
other for small little differences, because when we band together, we become stronger.
That is the intent. That's always been the intent, Sean, because that's how things have been done here. And I'm not talking about globally. I'm talking about in the country that I live in the United States of America. That's how it's been done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And so, to highlight something else that, so back at the beginning of the last administration, when, the narrative was about all the people that were crossing the border from South America, Mexico, and things like that, we ended up with similar types of incidents where a lot of hate was driven towards, people of the Latina perspective. That wasn't the right word. Anyway, so I personally saw the race tensions and the verbal abuse towards brown people during that time. Okay, so I literally watched somebody, until I interceded, go after somebody that spoke clear English, was born in the United States but happened to be Puerto Rican, ask for their green card.
Mm.
What? What?
Mm.
No. Okay. And it all comes down to the different narratives between our major wings. You got the people that are talking about what's going on. So an Asian person gets attacked out on the street, and defends themselves and things like that. And then over on this side, what they're doing is they're trying to say nothing's happened, there's nothing going on. This is all people's imagination. And by the way, Kung Flu, China virus,
Right.
and all these disparaging things. So if you got these people one on one and never show them this propaganda stuff, I doubt it would be quite as prevalent. But we all know where this came from. We know where this current wave of Asian virus, the current wave of Asian virus, like, I'm having like a speaking problem here. We don't edit nothing out, guys. My brain can't always work. So here you go. This is Just Talk live, and
Coming to you back.
but anyway, it's coming from the narrative that gets pushed from the media and politicians. And that's
So,
where we have to start our issue, like start our healing from.
so I'm glad you ended with that, because that's what I was going to say. I mean, not to point fingers, but it's obvious fingers that need to be pointed toward the previous administration. And although the flag wasn't lowered when, what is that guy's name? When he went in and shot up that church, and yes, Dylan Roof, when Dylan Roof shot up that church, that was a different administration. And I'm sure if it had been the Biden administration, it'd be a lot more empathetic and, a lot more, emotion thrown in there. But the people that are in charge now, we get to set the standard. Now this, like you said, somebody said this, who, I don't know if it was you or Vonda, like, from here on out, this is what we're going to do, because we need to combat this. I mean, it's not mistake that last year alone, there was over 3,000 attacks on Asian Americans. And those are just the reported ones. Those aren't the ones that people just didn't say anything about. And, and Vonda, you're right. Latino Americans, Muslim Americans, indigenous people, we have, and Asian Americans and other races, there's a plethora of races. It's not just black and white. And we forget about all the other people that that are included in our American society, but we don't get a lot of as much for whatever reason, unless it's at the border or immigration, or unless it's hijacking a plane or something, then it gets spotlighted. But in any case, the rest of us don't get as much highlight, even though just as much happens to us. You get what I'm saying? We have, my husband always said, that it was hard being a black man until he said he saw how Hispanic people were treated. You know what I mean? Even amongst the Hispanics, and stuff like that. But that's because you don't have that perspective. You don't see from that other person's point of view until you're there, until you have the opportunity to. But we're all being afflicted by racism. And it's not just racism from white people, it's racism within each other. We fighting each other. Why? If we all just collectively gathered and said, this is wrong, then we could be a lot more powerful as a community, and we can finally get rid of and overcome some of these racists, because they won't have enough oxygen to breathe. That's all I'm trying to say.
Something that you talked about, Vonda, earlier, I hope I'm not jumping the gun here, is talking about the effect that white people would have on this type of situation. And I'd like to say that if you add up all of the minority groups together, they still don't equal the number of white people. I mean, 70% of the population happens to be white. So I think it is a good thing that there are people that are white that understand that there are things that need to be looked at and handled, instead of just ignoring it. I don't like the whole, okay, so anybody that is saying that racism doesn't exist, or it's a thing of the past, is categorically saying that they are everywhere at every time, seeing every incident that occurs, and they know everything. That is just false. Okay, so I do think that that the allies that are that the white allies are good. They're people that help to bring these things to the forefront of their people's minds. I mean, there are some people that aren't going to listen to a person of color, but they might listen to another white person, and that's all you got to do is get the foot in the door. You know what I mean? And so, yeah,
I personally believe that white people think when they hear racism, they're like, oh, they're whining again. That's what I think white people think. Oh, they're whining. I think
some of them do.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think some, but I also think that there's the younger generation. First of all, let me take a moment right now to sincerely and genuinely thank every single white individual that showed up during this pandemic to protest with Black Lives Matter, that are speaking out on social media. We're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to get any results without their help and assistance. I'm truly grateful. I'm appreciative. So, but to go back to what you said, Lydia, it is. There's a certain generation. Not only are they not going to see anything differently, they're not even going to try.
Right.
They have no intentions on trying to see anything differently.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be beneath them.
Right.
I'm always going to be thought of differently.
Right.
There's nothing that can be done. And also, you guys, I briefly talked to you guys about a young black man that was killed in Delaware. Mm-hmm. Lamont Moses. Of course, I'm new here. I haven't even been in Delaware for a year yet. I cannot wait to get my second dose of the vaccine to mask up and to get involved. Where is the support in our community?
Mm-hmm.
Where? Why is everybody not standing together, coming out, protesting with his family? Where? It should not be, well, when it happens to you.
Yep.
Right.
You know, well, when it happens to me, oh, now I need help. I need your support. No, we've got to stop. We've got to stop that. That's not cool. I mean, and you know, I'm blessed. I have a roof over my head. All of my bills are paid. I don't have to worry about anything being cut off.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full tank of gas. But guess what? There are other people that don't.
Right.
Does that mean I'm not going to stand up for them? No, it doesn't mean that. Change starts with one individual. One person to do the right thing, to fucking treat somebody the way that you want to be treated. And enough people don't do it. I can stand on a soapbox because I do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough people that know me or that know of me that know I do it. So I'm over it. We need to come together. Black people need to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Indigenous people need to come together. It can't be, what am I going to do to take advantage of my brother and sister to get ahead?
Right.
Yep.
Doesn't work that way. Change has got to come. It's overdue. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
One thing that I don't really enjoy when these types of conversations come up in person, you know, when we're talking about racism and things like that, is where I feel like people have trouble separating themselves from the statement. So like when you talk about, for instance, white supremacy, you're not saying that every white person is a white supremacist. So
Exactly.
so they don't have to take it that way. What people of color expect, well, what people of color hope is that the white allies are going to go, well, I don't like those people that are acting that way, and then join with us instead of going, white people aren't racist. No, you might not be, okay? But if somebody's waving a Nazi flag around and things like that, what are they? It's not Halloween. You know what I mean?
I saw a post from a guy who said that when he was younger, he said he was raised by a racist family. He was raised in a racist family. So when he was younger, he knew full and well when he waved that Confederate flag that it was bothering people. He knew it was irritating people, and that was part of the point of why he did it. And he said, now
exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's how it is for everybody, but I'm sure it is for most. You know, they know exactly that it bothers people, that it's a sting. It stings when people see it. But the thing is he said when he got older and he started getting into church and he realized it was wrong. But anyway, he was saying that we need to actually be honest with ourselves and actually start looking at another person's perspective. And I believe that sums everything up. Mm-hmm. If you just put yourself in another person's shoes and says, well, you know, I might not be experiencing that, but this whole group of people are complaining about it. There might be an issue. I told my husband, I said, you know, that usually the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But in the United States, if we squeak, they tell us to shut up.
Yep.
They tell us to shut up. They don't want to address the problem that is here because they don't want to admit, the people who are racist and everything like that, they don't want to admit that there's a problem, that they've done something wrong, because then that means they have to fix it. So, and do they want to fix it? No. they tell us to shut up. They tell us to be quiet. Oh, it's not that bad. And then they have us turning on each other. Man, come on. See the big picture. It's not about, one race is better than the other one or anything like that. Let's help each other. Let's just bring each other up. And that's all it's all about.
And that includes not just people of color, but everybody.
Exactly.
Okay? If we could just start bringing each other up, but we have to understand what the problems are before you can't just put a blanket over it and expect it to go away. Okay, that's not. You have organizations whose exact focus is racism. I'm not going to name them here, but I'll do that sometime on a video because I don't know if Bonda's here for all that. But there are organizations who are neo-Nazi organizations, are alt-right organizations that focus on a white ethno-state and things like that. And there are organizations from other races that do the same. And guess what? Within our own races, we don't like those groups. Okay, they're not people that we support. If they hate, then they hate, and we don't like them, and it doesn't matter what color skin they are. Okay, that's to me a major difference.
And I'm going to close it up by saying this. For everybody that watches this video, I want you guys to know we're not equal to white people. We're not equal. I don't believe all lives matter because all lives can't matter until my life matters, Sean's life matters, Lydia's life matters, and Asian Americans' lives matter.
Thank you.
Until you guys get that, there's always going to be a problem. We're not equal. If we were equal, we wouldn't be where we are right now. If we were equal, white Republicans wouldn't be trying and succeeding at changing voting laws. So Black lives matter, Indigenous lives matter, Mexicans' lives matter, and Asian Americans' lives matter. That's all I have to say. I'll toss it to you guys to see if you have something you want to add to that.
Yeah. All you're saying is, I'm going to translate it for some people. All you're saying is that we are not equal until the lowest of us are brought up to the mid-level with everybody else. And that's
not everybody else, white people.
You understand? Yeah, 77% of the population. Okay. So yeah, I'm not saying nothing against that. I'm just I'm being Luther the translator over here.
What's up, Luther?
so the point of it is that until you can go someplace and feel as though justice is done equally across the board, it's not equal. Until you feel like a job isn't held back from you because you happen to be qualified but of a different race,
and pay,
it's not equal.
Right.
And pay, it's not equal. And that also goes for women.
And yeah, oh my God. Now, why did you have to go and bring up that? I said that I was ready to cut this off. The NBA, dude, did you guys see? I know y'all saw the difference in the rooms for the women basketball players and the men.
Yeah.
Y'all know that's not cool.
Yeah, and one of the arguments that they like to say is because NBA brings in more money than WNBA. But I like to state this. When you have that perspective, when you take that perspective, you are shoehorning them into that particular. You are saying that NBA deserves better because they bring in more money. Why are they bringing in more money? Because you're allowing the narrative to continue, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I thought you were going a different place with that when you said, "Oh, women," because I hadn't seen the rooms. I actually didn't. I'm actually out of the loop.
Oh, Lydia, wait till you see it.
But
that's all I'm gonna say.
I thought you were going to go to the fact that the guy who shot up those massage parlors was saying that he was sex addicted, and he blamed the women like, for causing that. That's where I thought you were going. But
Separately causes it himself.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Separate, he causes it himself. Man is the most dangerous animal.
Exactly. But I saw a post about a woman who said that she's tired of being hypersexualized by men. The Asian women are hypersexual. I mean, it's known.
It is known.
And I personally, I'm sure that they get a lot of harassment.
Yes.
And I'm sure they don't report it. They don't say anything. So my heart goes out to that community right now. And, if you have, and whoever's watching, if you haven't noticed, we support the Asian community. And
absolutely.
And we're with you. So if you want to stand and fight, we're going to fight with you.
Absolutely.
But, this whole idea, I think that hypersexualization of the Asian woman, it needs to, I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ideas, but
I don't.
No, but it's something that is really out there.
But the biggest reason why, I'm not going to open that door, I will just say the biggest reason why I don't have any thoughts or input on that, I mean, is because we lived in Okinawa for 4 years.
Right.
I'll just leave that there.
I don't mean to laugh, but
yeah. So,
yes.
but
yes.
I'm not gonna. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have no idea.
I know enough about traditional Japanese culture to get an idea. So.
Okay.
Okay. We'll leave that for another. That's too big of a subject for us to handle. But
definitely. Well, hopefully, everybody that sees this knows where we stand. I think that we're all in agreement. The three of us were ready for change. We're ready for legitimate change. We're ready for our ethnicities to come together. It's time to get shit done.
Right.
It's time.
Period.
We just want to get along.
And be treated the same way.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lydia.
No, I just think maybe there needs to be more education within the different races to tell everybody, hey, look, don't let us divide them. Don't let them divide us. You know what I mean? If we all just kind of started spreading the message, hey, look, like what Sean said, it's not your time right now. Right now, we're focusing on this issue. You know what I mean? If we could start telling people in that, on our communities, but I don't know how effective that'll be.
I mean, my opinion is I don't think it'd be effective at all. I mean, there's only, here comes Prince Oliver. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
There's actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Like I said about Lamont Moses, show up. Come on. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got social media. Everybody. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. If you don't, you have access to it. Everybody has a freaking cell phone. We all do. How much talking can there be? You see what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know where a protest is at. Mm-hmm. You know when somebody's done something wrong. I don't have time. I don't have time to waste. I mean, I talked to Aunt Marie. She didn't necessarily like it, but I just told her yesterday, I'm not a preacher and I'm not a teacher. When people show you who they are, you believe them. I have more years behind me than I do ahead of me. It's not my job, and I'm not putting more time into an idiot than I do into Vonda. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So either you want to do better or you don't. So Lydia, I can't do that one, but you're good at that.
What?
Talking to people. I mean,
not anymore.
Oh yeah, I can't do that.
I got old.
Everybody has their focuses in any kind of military. You got your people that are doing the air, the land, and the sea. So you are artillery over here, Vonda, and
shut them down.
And somebody else has got to be the flag waver.
You the flag waver, Sean?
There are times when I am, yeah. There are times when
Oh,
I'm pretty, I just want us all to. I think that violence against, Americans versus Americans is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, because
Thank
all we're
you.
doing is opening the door up for other
Yeah,
countries
Lydia.
to come in
yeah.
and crap on us. And then I think it's stupid that we continue to line up behind the people that are still trying to separate us and hold us
Come
down.
on.
I think we're just bringing them into power and letting them stay in the power. And what have they done for us?
Y'all know what? I'm not trying to have a discussion on politics because it's been so nice and freaking chill
Yeah.
since President
Yeah.
Joe Biden came
Comparable.
into office. It has been my Twitter. Oh my God, it's so nice. It's just chill.
Peaceful.
Yes, so peaceful. But you know what? Every state needs a Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
Every state and U.S. territory needs a Stacey Abrams. That woman is like, she's just an idol. If somebody said, if you guys ask me right now, Vonda, if you can meet and sit down and talk with anybody, who would it be? And it wouldn't be LeBron James. He got hurt, but that's another story. But it wouldn't be LeBron James now, guys. It would be Stacey Abrams.
Not Jay, like he said, not Jeff Bezos.
Not Jeff Bezos.
She don't want to sit down and talk with him.
No, you're right. I'm
It ain't no talking.
You know what? Eventually, I do have options. Eventually, I'm going to make the decision to date again. Just has to be the right one. I don't have time for games. I don't. I'm going to be very, very selective when I make that decision. But eventually I'll go back on the market and I'll be like, okay, let's see. It's going to be you, number 7. You get the opportunity. You get the opportunity to spend time with Vonda.
In the wheel.
Yeah, spin the wheel. But Stacey Abrams, nobody can top what she did.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I have a lot of respect for her, what she did and what she accomplished.
Yes.
We should put on the agenda to do a conversation about the voter suppression stuff.
Please, that is one of my triggers. Is voter suppression. I cannot stand. Oh, that is one of my triggers.
I think we need to be able to explain it in a way like why it's important to keep it in mind, and why it's not just people of color.
Okay.
That are being
affected. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it down.
Thank you.
So we can definitely do that. All right, everybody. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, let everybody know where they can find you guys at.
I'm Indigenous Patriot on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah. So I didn't disappear. I just took a hiatus to focus on some personal things.
Hey. Yeah.
We know.
So I'm Lydia. You can find me at just Lydia111 on all social media. You have a better luck of finding me on Facebook. I do check that. Okay, well, a lot. So anyway, but in any case, you could also find some of our merch on ojusttalk.net, and the rest, Vonda.
I'm Vonda, and you can find me at ojusttalk, or my personal social media is ovonda. I will respond to either one. So, and you can find our merch, like Lydia said, at ojusttalk.net, or you can go to the website ojusttalk.com and you can find it there. So everybody, please remember, the comeback is always greater than the step back. Please stay safe, continue to mask up, social distance, don't act like the people from Florida. We got to stay safe to beat this thing and get out of this. So Lydia and Sean, I will talk to you guys later. Y'all be good.
The pitch canale. I make no promises on being good. You're asking a little too much here.
I'll be good for everybody.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.